Welcome to the episode Ground Floor, where we can agree to disagree and still be family. That's the theme song, the What Up Doe, off my second album, JLE World. On the music. Don't do the Facebook, you can buy the album on Amazon anyway. He got the glasses.
Hey, this dude, he can't get it out, folks. The reason why this is so comical, this is so comical to this brother here. I did not have glasses all of the years of school, but there's a such thing as growing old. And when you can't see certain things on your debit card, it just make you go out here and say, man, like you get tired of seeing things like that. So I just went to the doctor one day and said, the eye doctor that is, and they told me what was going on.
Now y'all about to get some brother Malcolm with this cat. He turned to a different dude when he got his glasses.
Yeah, I'm in my serious mode right now. Let's go.
I call him Brother Jerome, and bring it to the stage, recurring guest, fellow Cooley alum here. Welcome to the show.
Oh, kid in the building.
What up? What's this deal? What's going on, brother? All right?
Yeah, we doing good. Hey, Jeff, we need to, when kid come on here, we need to, with the DJs, hit that little horn like, me.
Yeah, I got bad at sound effects.
Yeah, we need that right there.
Here we go, update. So
today's right, light it up.
Is what are you bringing to the boycott? Because so much going on, but we do want to give our condolences to the people that died with the plane and helicopter colliding, unfortunately, in DC area. Praying for everybody involved with that. Then you had another plane situation that Jerome had mentioned that crashed around the city area in Philly. Praying for them as well, because don't think aliens attacking people. Don't do it. Don't. Because I know on social media people going crazy like, man, planes falling from the sky. What's really going on? It's just some bad situations. Bad situation that happens. Now, after those serious topics, we're gonna start with something light first. We got a few we're gonna cover. First one would be the Lyft story that happened in Detroit. A Detroit rapper that they mentioned, plus size young lady, tried to use a Lyft, and the guy said her weight size was too big for his vehicle. That created a big uproar on social media. She's suing Lyft about it now. Now, to be fair, if you use the ride-sharing app, they have different levels of vehicles you can use. So I'm assuming that's their way to accommodate all sizes. But we'll see how the lawsuit play out over time if she do win. What are you guys' thoughts on it?
You want to go first, Kia, or you want me to go?
Have at it.
Okay. Kia said, let me. I look at Lyft and Uber as independent contractors. And so I look at them as independent contractors. At the end of the day, if you and I was coming from the airport, Jeff, and that's Kia's vehicle, we don't know her from Adam. She has the right to say, hey, I'm going to refuse this, this ride because of X, Y, Z. Now, we can feel like it's discrimination, whatever the case may be, like the young lady's doing. But at the end of the day, she has. I remember one time I was in, I think I was in Dallas, and the dude told me, he said, "Hey man, I don't allow any drinks in the car." And I was like, "Well, this is just water." And my man said, "I don't allow any drinks in the car." And I'm looking like, man, I just walk. I was only taking the car. I was only taking the car because it was on the company's dollar. It was just 3 blocks over to the hotel. I didn't feel like walking up that hill. But when my man came at me like that, I was like, I'm not even gonna make a big deal of it. I said, "Sir, have a nice day." Canceled the ride, and I went on ahead. So I feel like the vehicle that he was in, I really don't know what it was, But I can see how, if that's his personal everyday vehicle, because at the end of the day, we don't know if he got another vehicle. You know, I look at the wear and tear, because I drive a lot for work. I'm talking about a lot. I probably do 2,500 miles in a month. And so when you drive that much, and it's a company vehicle, but I always think, what if this was my vehicle? All of the oil changes I have to get, all of the preventative maintenance things I have to get. This is that person's personal vehicle. You have the right to say, hey, you know, because like you said, they got the other option. I think with Uber, they have Uber X. I think that's the big one, like when you get your Escalades, the premium type of thing. And, you know, I'm sorry, you know, I'm not trying to discriminate against anybody that's a BBW or a big dude out there. But if you're a big dude, I know several of them. And if I was with them, they would tell me in a heartbeat, man, I can't even fit in this vehicle. We getting this. Because some people just tell you like, hey, I'm going to pay for this because I know I can't. It's uncomfortable to be in this type of vehicle. So I know she's a young lady, and no disrespect to her friends, her family. I'm just saying sometimes you have to look in the mirror, and you have to know what you up against. And it's going to be certain people with a personal vehicle that will have the option to refuse you in those type of situations. So I think I'm in the middle when it comes to, is it fair? Is it right? You know, type of thing, because you don't get to see what the person look like till you get there, or the situation till you get there. But that person, to me, that person has a right to reject someone based on their own personal vehicle. I just don't know how he could have done it better, to be honest with you. I don't think he did anything. And from what I've seen, I didn't see him cussing her out. He didn't disrespect her in any way. He just said, hey, I'll go ahead and cancel, because she was like, what about my money? He's like, hey, I'll cancel it. You know, I'm not trying to charge you for this. It's that, you know, I say no. Your take, kid.
Yeah, I thought it was real interesting, the lawsuit and everything. And I'm like, so when did you start recording? Did you start recording as soon as he pulled up? Did you start recording as soon as he denied you the ride and you were like, I can't believe this? So I decided to start recording. It's on every outlet, every news outlet now, right? And you know, people are asking, like, are you playing this into your career because you are a rapper and now you're trying to sue a large company? And so when you were saying, there's a couple of things that come into mind. Like, I know someone who is heavy, on even on a caliber as her. And one of the things that I know about her for certain, and then when I look at this, is she always makes sure that there's something to accommodate her. Right now, she drives, and she does have, I believe, like some sort of Toyota. Now, I'm not saying that she's as large as this young lady is. However, number one, no, you don't want to be discriminated against. However, when you know that there are some limitations to what you can do, then normally you make sure that you have accommodations. Those who have disabilities that know that they have to have a wheelchair, they make sure that things are wheelchair accessible. Or, you know, if they have a cane, they make sure, like, am I able to get in and out of the ride? Is there an elevator? Is there a ramp? All these things you make sure of ahead of time, right? I also saw like some pictures that she had showed when she was in other vehicles that she was very much looked uncomfortable even being in, right? But I guess to her defense, she was saying, hey, I can fit in this car. What makes you think I can't fit in another? One of the things that I think is that we don't like to take responsibility for ourselves. If I know that I'm in this situation, one of the things that I would have done is said, let me make sure that I have a car that I'm going to be able to fit in, where I won't have to have this type of conversation. This is why they have, like you were saying, X or XL or whatever the case may be. So why would you have not prepared for that ahead of time? And when she was like, exactly like you said, well, what about my money? Well, I'm even going to make it beneficial for you. I'm going to cancel the ride. This way you won't even have to pay for another ride. You can order another vehicle, right? And it won't be at any additional expense to you. So it's like, I understand the thing of wanting to be accepted, right? Because this is who I am, this is my body, and not body shaming. But then where's the responsibility? Where do I take my own responsibility and say, I'm going to ensure that I have everything that I need so I can have peace, so I can have functionality, so that I'm not put in a situation where I'm uncomfortable. Like, where do we start taking responsibility for ourselves? And then from immediately after that, saying, well, I'm going to sue you because it's discrimination. The gentleman did say in the video, I've been in this situation before, and the person was unable to fit in my vehicle. So would it have been more appropriate for him to say, okay, I don't think that you can fit, but you think you can. So go ahead, come on, try to squeeze in. And then if she hadn't been able to fit, then how would she have been feeling then? So was he trying to save her the humiliation of trying to fit because he's been in this situation before? And you're not riding in the front. Now we know riding in the front of the vehicle and riding in the back seat of the vehicle is two different things when you start talking about space and capacity, right? And then you have to talk about weight distribution and things of that nature. So, and then to what you're saying, Jerome, as far as driving, when you drive a vehicle and you drive it a lot, and yes, I'm driving it for work, and I know that this is my mode of income, but then I also have to protect that, right? Being an independent contractor, what most people don't know, they think like, oh, you're hired. You're not hired by Lyft. All of these expenses come to you. And yes, you need to be preparing and putting things aside and things of that nature, but I'm protecting my investment at the same time. And so it becomes a very slippery slope and a thin rope when you start talking about what's acceptable, what's discrimination, and things of that nature. I'm sure from experience plays a factor as well. And just like you said, as an independent contractor, I can deny on the basis of anything. Now, why would somebody deny you a ride because you have a drink? This gentleman saying, I don't want nobody spilling stuff in my car. And I've had experiences where people spill all types of stuff in my car, and I have to be the one to clean it up. So guess what? I'm going to put something in place that says, I'm not accepting anybody that doesn't have water, right? And so is this also a liability on his part? If he accepted her in his vehicle and she wasn't able to, injury occurred, then who was going to be at fault? She would have still been suing him if she was at fault, right? Do y'all think so? So,
yeah, I mean, you bring up a good point when you say that, because I look at when you fly, and for those that fly a lot or you travel here and there leisurely, whether it's business or personal, when you're a certain size, as far as I know, all of the airlines charge you or let you know if you're a plus size person, you will be charged for 2 seats opposed to one. I've actually been on a flight with a person that was a plus size like that, and they had to get the extender for the seatbelt that they pull around, because I was always wondering how that would work, because I'm getting to the point now, this ain't the high school Rome that y'all know of. I'll be looking at the thing like, dang, I only got about 3 more inches on this thing. It wouldn't even go around, especially if it's wintertime. So you really got to look at how other industries handle plus size individuals. And when I say plus size, I'm talking to individuals that's most likely 400 or more.
right.
We're talking the ones that you don't really get to see on a daily basis. It's special, like you just said earlier, Kia, special accommodations. When you have to have special accommodations, usually there's a level of upgrade, a level of an assistance that you have to pay to get those certain type of things. And so you're right about that. It's like, had he let her go in there and do that, would he have been wrong if she fell back? I just seen a video. She was performing. She fell on stage.
Wow.
And she was just walking back, doing her song, and she fell back. And so it's kind of one of those things where it's like, wow, I just think that, he had every right as the individual contractor, independent contractor, to say yes or no in those type of situations, because it's his means of transportation, is his means of living as well.
Yeah. And I
Okay.
commend her for having a fully functional life where you're
Exactly.
still mobile and everything like that. But you do have to both people have to be responsible. You have to be responsible on how you speak to an individual, how you make them feel. Him being the independent contractor. I think from the conversation that he had, the tone he had with her, his level of explanation, I don't know how much more she would have wanted that would have made her feel more comfortable. I don't even know if he said the right things or if he didn't say the right things, but just in the tone and the manner in which he said it, it seemed careful to me. And then her having that level of responsibility as well, and saying, I am aware of the size that I am, and that there's some because listen, I remember being heavier and walking down the aisle of the airport. I mean, not the airport, but the plane. These things are narrow depending on which flight that you're on, and it's very uncomfortable. However, I didn't look at, and maybe it's one of those things where you say, well, instead of trying to pack everybody on the flight, you need to have it a little bit, wider. Or do I pay for the comfort seat? Do I pay for the first class seat or the main cabin seat? Do I accommodate myself? Like, am I taking responsibility for myself? Even though we want everything to be all inclusive, and it should be, but when do you also take responsibility for yourself? I'm not gonna order myself a Spark, and I know good and well that I don't like my knees in my chest. You know what I'm saying? So I'm not gonna order that. I'm gonna get even when when I'm getting a rental car, I'm not getting the smallest thing possible. I'm not comfortable in that, and so I know that because I'm not comfortable in that, I'm going to order a vehicle that I feel comfortable in. So most times you're going to see me in an SUV, not because I think I'm 6 feet deep down inside. You know what I'm saying? So, and I'm only 5'1", maybe 5'2", maybe it's squeaking, right? But being short, it's still a comfortability for me. So I'm going to make sure that I have an SUV. So I just think in traveling and understanding that, yes, you should be able to ride in whatever car that you want to ride in. But if physically you can't, then you can't make the responsibility of the vehicle that you ordered. If that person says, like, I'm not able to accommodate you, why not just get a vehicle that you know that you can feel comfortable in most times anyway? If you know that you drive, if you drive an SUV, then why, when you want a ride share, would you want something way smaller than that? So that's just my
great articulate points. I guess I'll be the bad guy.
Come on, be the bad guy.
Come on in.
It's a problem that you're recording it. You don't have permission to record him. And I'm assuming by them having a company to think ahead for these issues is why you might pay extra for the bigger vehicles. So the cry wolf that he body shamed you or made you feel embarrassed, if that's the angle you're going, or publicity, they already have built-in contingencies to accommodate you. So if you're trying to get into like a small Honda and you need a Expedition or something, they got those out. They've got the vehicle on the thing to show you the size. So why are you trying to get in this when you are not that size yet? Just be accountability. You're a bigger woman. You know that about yourself because you see yourself in the mirror when you get dressed. So if you try and get in a smaller vehicle, and he been doing this, so he may have had this experience, and he can judge better by seeing, nah, she's too big. It ain't gonna work. And he's being as respectful as possible. Like he does have that right when they go to court. Well, our drivers do have experience to where it's their vehicle. They have seen these things to try to accommodate. So Instead of you, man, I gotta wait 30, 45 minutes. They already got it built in the app, the size of the vehicle that you might really need. And maybe you want to pay that money that day. You being cheap. And now you got this big blown out thing where I don't really see it as a winnable case. Because if I'm the company, I've already built in fail safes. You have multiple vehicles. You see what it looked like. So there's no mystery on if you can fit it or not. So why are you suing? And why are you filming?
Here's the lawsuit. I'm just like, wow.
You look a suspect. Like you trying, and you're a rapper, so that's gonna put your name out there, and any press is good press. Oh, she a rapper? What she rap? Let me go check her stuff out. But at what expense that you're willing to get that notoriety? Because he didn't do nothing wrong. He wasn't disrespectful, calling her out a name, you this big, whatever. He didn't do all that. He's trying to be very respectful. I ain't no money gonna be taken, just had to get a different vehicle. This ain't gonna work for you. And because everybody wanna be an investigator all of a sudden, well, he could countersue that you're filming him and don't have his permission.
Yeah,
right? Think about that. If he want to take it that way and say people are coming at him like, "Oh, you bully! How dare you?" Blah. Who told her to film?
Defamation, slander, the whole nine, and loss of income because he also got fired.
He got so he definitely has a lawsuit.
He no longer even drive for that ride share.
So he does have a winnable lawsuit because he followed what they have. If they didn't have that option in the app where it show you the vehicle that you can choose from, okay, you're gonna be the scapegoat. But they have that. It don't matter how big of the sky falling, how you want to make about it, you cost a man a job because you're too big to get in that vehicle. He was polite to say that. That's terrible. When you had other options. So is it worth it? Because I don't see that case being winnable for her. He got one that's winnable. Because she can't fit his car. She can't fit his car. They got other options.
I don't know. Crazier suits have been won. So
yeah,
the only way, the worst case that could happen, they will settle just to make her go away. But depending on the person, if it was me in charge, damn that. I ain't paying you a motherfucking dime. You out your rabbit ass mind. You know the size you are. You know the size of this vehicle. We have put in place other options for you. And your ass chose not to do that. Nah. I'm not going to fire my play over this. He did his job. He didn't cut you out. You filmed him illegally already, so that's showing me on some bull jive. You clout chasing. I'm sorry, you are over the limit for this vehicle, and you already knew that. Because all they can do is start tracking your history. What vehicle do you normally take? All that's in the app. And if it's in the app, you normally get the bigger vehicles, but today you want to film, do this, you want some bullshit. So don't think they have a high power lure like
he said what he said about that.
Every time we look up on skill and see here exhibit A, you do Excel every time. What the hell is this? Like, we're grown. Let's cut all this. Oh my God, how dare you? We grown as hell in 25. Cut that bullshit out, man. Cut that out. We're too grown. Cut that out. Everything ain't a situation where, oh, they're picking on them. No. Some people out here to get theirs. God bless you. That's your hustle. Do you? But someone that always used Lyft when I worked at Wayne State, they got the size of the vehicle. It might be $5 more or something, but I find it hard to believe they pour the data. She's not getting a bigger vehicle. She used Lyft more than once.
You think that's what it is, Ron? She just didn't want to pay that extra money.
You know what? Jeff bring up a good point, and I'll say this, kid. I've been there myself. I went to a wedding back in August, and I was in LA. LA different. You know what I'm saying?
LA real different.
Yeah, LA real different. So I'm looking like, hey, it's just me. I got to get back to this room. Let me see what they got right here. I looked at that, you know, see, I'm thinking like, hey, I'll be out here in LA, live like they live, not that price. I seen that truck like, oh, hell to the no. Like that song say, hell to the no, no. Hey, that was me. Right. That was me. I hit that straight. I forget what they called it, but it said it'll be there. They called it the Uber Saver. Hey, he'll be there 3 minutes. Come on over. Hey, I ain't paying the extra fees for nothing. And it got me to the destination the same way. But I do think maybe, and she probably looking, I've been traveling, I've been doing this. I got to save a few dollars. Saving a few dollars can cost you. And in this case, I think that had to be the case because there's no way you can try to order something like that. I don't know what it was, Honda Accord, whatever it was.
Any car is going to be hard just looking at the size of her.
Yeah,
it's not body shape. I mean, the way the back seats open, they don't be wide like the front.
Yeah.
So there's no way the little bit when I want to be alert, she can't convince me she's in my face saying, I only get a car. You lying. Because some of the cars' back doors only open too wide for you to get in. A truck is good. They open all the way up for you. Or a minivan. There's no way she's taking the car when they check the phone.
Mm-hmm. And
they track all that. We use their app to see, okay, this person normally take XL, double X, this, or a car, mid. What are you doing? Is it worth it? Because you got a man fired. And that's some real bullshit.
Yeah.
I can see if he's on the tape calling her out of her name and all that, but he was being very respectful. And probably frustrated. Then this have recording me? He didn't give consent. He can sue them and sue her and get some money because he signed a waiver to some people out here. Stop filming people. That's illegal.
That's a whole nother discussion, bro. Like,
illegal.
Pop out their phone.
They don't want to go through all the trouble with the trial, but they take your ass to court and you ain't had them sign a waiver to film them. You're going to give some of that skrill up. And you're going to be on TikTok blubbering. Okay, believe you say you ain't came across one that know the law. Like, I'm going to show you something. We're going to make an example out of your dumb ass. Keep recording me without my permission. See what happens. Cause watch. My word, I don't know who will, but somebody gonna do it. And everybody will be talking about like, I didn't like disclaimer, and I'm not saying America's dumb. We don't pay attention to politics. But a lot of people didn't realize you can still run for president with a felony. I'm like, why your mind blown? You read the Constitution?
Nope.
Like,
nope.
Stop being a stereotype. How the hell you don't know that a felon can run for president? What are you talking about? This is not mind-breaking news. It's in a damn book. Read it. Mm-hmm. And people was just calling the radio say, oh my God, I can't believe that he can run. Yeah, Trump can run.
They can't believe it because the stigma that it is on felons as a whole. You walking around every day, Blow Joe, you ain't getting no job. I mean, you can get a job, don't get me wrong.
Yeah.
But it's only certain ones, and they know how difficult it is. So most people who don't pay attention to how things are written, they wouldn't think the highest office of the land would allow you to run and you have a felony. They wouldn't think that, because if I can't get a regular job working at God no at any other place,
government is a different level, baby.
You're not making those great decisions. I would not be thinking that I can get a job as the president of the United States. But anyway, I digress.
Yeah. I mean, it's just showing how people don't read up on this stuff. Like right now, when someone watching this live or they replay it, you can't film people without their permission? No. That's illegal in this country. Just like our government can't spy on us without permission. It's illegal. Reading is fundamental, people. Read. It's fundamental. It's right there.
Hey,
but ain't nobody don't nobody got the time, so they don't sue nobody. But you're going to catch the right person. And they're going to show someone and sue them for a stupid amount. And just like, did they sign a waiver? Well, I thought it was going to be fun to see them getting money up at Waffle House. So they're getting beat up. You didn't call the cops and that, but you chose to be a part of the problem by filming them without not the whole world watching them getting whooped up on social media. Paying $100,000. Well, your kids figure that out or go do something. Stop filming. But
happens every day.
Now the funny one, and I saw this on YouTube. Some people were streaming from their shows. Now with the DEI, diversity, equity, inclusion has been wiped away. A lot of companies are getting rid of it. So I came across a story with Tabitha Brown, who entrepreneur, young black woman, has stuff in the store because I didn't realize Target has a lot of black entrepreneur products in their stores.
Mm-hmm.
But everybody like, I can't believe they're going to get rid of it. They're not supporting. We need a boycott. Okay, another disclaimer, folks. A lot of black entrepreneur products are in Target. So I found it kind of weird seeing Reverend Al Sharpton and the We Shall Not Overcome crew walking through the store boycotting. I'm looking like, why are they doing this? Well, they take the DI away. I mean, let's be real. And I take the bad guy approach. When they did come up with the diversity, equity, inclusion, it's supposed to give everyone that's minority a fair shot. But here's something some of these companies figured out. Well, if I hire a black woman or Indian woman, I'm checking off a few boxes at once. I'm good. Not saying they're not qualified, but I ain't got to get that dude a chop because, you know, I got the lock on the women here. You know, I'm the only man. I don't want no dudes up here. He got to go. But I need that minority hookup. So I put a woman down. I'm covered. That's why I noticed a lot of major corporations that let go of people, unfortunately, with black women. So they keep gaming the system how they do it. They ain't going to be just fair. They're going to find a way to work it for them. So now they don't have it. And they boycotted. We boycott Target. We just have to be here. Okay. I get your point. But if they change the law and companies, smart companies going to keep it depending on what's their target audience and shoppers. But if it ain't going to affect your bottom line, do what the company we saw did. Like, okay, well, you're fired. Sorry. I don't care. Y'all thoughts?
I'll let Kia go first this time.
Are you gonna let me go first? I got a lot of feelings about this one. I'm not gonna lie. You know, number one, the reason why I rocked so hard with Target was because they were one of the few large organizations that were putting us on in terms of products and everything like that. And because they had a diversity, equity, inclusion program, they were making sure that they were giving people of color and other minorities a fair shot to have their merchandise, their products, and everything in their establishment. So when you first come out and say, we're not going to rescind our DEI, then I'm like, okay, you standing on principle because you still want to make sure that everyone gets a fair shot. But then after that, you turn around and I think it was like 2 days after they said that they wasn't folding, they folded and they're like, we're not gonna do it, right? So that kind of stung for me because I was like, I'm all for like, that's why I don't rock with Walmart. I don't like how they treat them, and you know, I argue with my mom on a regular as far as Sam's Club because they wasn't the same, but. That's why I always would be like, I don't really rock with Walmart like that because of number one, I know too many people who actually worked there, who they mistreated, and their whole ethics and integrity of how they deal with minorities is just not right in and of itself. So, for me, it was just like, dang, Target, like why you couldn't just be like Costco, right? So I entities, like they were really standing. It was good. I was like, this is I spend my dollar here. So now it's like you rescinded your DEI. My first question is why? Why are all of these corporations right now at one time snatching all the DI back? Now, is it that you don't agree that you need to be giving minorities a fair share at being able to have your product in store, or you don't agree that you need to have other people being in your establishment and giving them a fair share at earning their right to be able to earn the same income or go for certain levels when it comes to your company? Or are you being forced by your bottom line? Are they taking something they got to do with your money? What do they have? Do they have something over you that they're leveraging in order for you to be able to do this? And that's the thing that I don't think that we're really asking. Are we asking the right questions? Are you kind of being blackmailed and for your hand being forced in order to do it? Or is it the same old where you really didn't want it in the first place, right? And the other thing is we need to stop thinking that DEI meant that people weren't qualified, people didn't work, and that people didn't do their due diligence in order to have what they have. That's what we're hearing. Like, oh, it's the same as affirmative action. It's the whole thing. DEI was rescinded, and then you went all the way back to affirmative action at the same time, right? So stop thinking that they're qualified in order to have these things and earn the things that they earn. But yeah, it kind of hurts. So what does that mean for me as far as DEI and me boycotting? Can we come up with a more strategic way to hold people accountable? That's the question. Are you willing to go where you're just tolerated and you're like, because there's so many entities that I'm not willing to boycott? Because somebody said, oh, ExxonMobil, they were for, whatever as well. So should we not get gas? Well, are you boycotting them simply because they supported a person? Or are you boycotting them because of some practice that you felt was unethical? And listen, I got a right to spend my money wherever I want to spend it. So if I choose to not spend my money with these corporations because I'm going to go where I'm celebrated and not just tolerated, then that's what I'm going to do. So if that means going to going strictly to our local businesses, going strictly to those entities that have my product and getting it directly from, so that I know 100% of the money that I'm spending is going to them.
Mm-hmm.
And that's exactly. Yeah, can y'all hear me?
Yeah, it froze up a little bit for you.
Yeah, it froze. Y'all started spinning. But if I'm gonna take my money and spend it where I know that my dollars are appreciated and deals with my morals and ethics, then that's exactly what I'm gonna do. So,
wow. You did say you had a lot to say, and that was good. Excuse me.
Mm-hmm.
That was really good. Jeff touched on the DEI and what it all means: diversity, equality, inclusion. I'm gonna go back a little while when I was up at Michigan State. I remember when I was there, I forget exactly which year it was, but it was a year that they was really pushing in the state of Michigan and other states to get rid of affirmative action. And I remember there was an uproar on campus and the minorities came together. All of the Latino and Latina community got together with the Black community. And it was this one, I forget the young lady's name, but she was Black and Puerto Rican or Black and whatever, Latina. So she represented both sides. So she understood, she formulated all the minorities. And I remember we had a class together. She was like, Rome, you gonna come with me? She was like, we're gonna storm in that meeting. Cause I'm the biggest person. I tell everybody, please don't call me talking about y'all about to go march downtown. I'm out. That's just me. I just don't do none of that. I'm not doing, unless Jesus tell me we got to march around the building 7 times, do not call me. When she told me what she was going to do, that's when I was like, hey, this is a sister. This was like on some Black Panther type. A lot of people don't know this story. Samuel Jackson and some of his people he was with, they actually locked in Dr. King's dad on the campus there at Morehouse until they got a certain things in writing that they wanted on the campus at that time. And this was just like that. The affirmative action thing was real big. And it was probably, no joke, about 40 of us. The way we stormed into that meeting, when the paper came out, it's called the State News. When the paper came out, it said 300 to 400 students. It was only 40 of us. We stormed in when he had this meeting. His name was McPherson, Dr. McPherson. He was the president at the state at the time. My man was in a meeting. We stormed that meeting. People ran up out of there. Basically, I ain't gonna say we held him captive, but Buddy wasn't getting up out of there. That's how deep we were. No police was there to stop. I'm talking about we stormed in there, and then it was a lady that came in there trying to whisper in his ear, and they was like, "Ma'am, that's rude. We're talking to him. We don't want you in here." Old girl had to leave, and we was in there grilling my man with all the questions about affirmative action. How is his take? What does he feel about it? All of this. And I remember he was just like, he was straightforward with everybody. Like, hey, I'm not here to allow anybody get uprooted from the campus. But my understanding of affirmative action, he was basically saying, we don't want a handout per se, is what he was saying. And he was like, you're already here. But we don't. So the students was like, look, we just don't want to get uprooted. We've been working too hard for somebody to just come and say, you're no longer a student at this campus. And one dude that I had a class with, he was Latino. My man started crying. And that's when it got real in there. Like, whoa, the campus news came in and started taking photos. And I remember they had some type of chant. They literally told my man, sign this document or else. Right on the spot. Like, I'm sitting up there looking like I literally could get locked up for what we about to do. Because it was literally like, hey, you sign this or else. And my man looking like, well, what's the or else? You going to find out. That's literally how everybody came in there. And what I'm saying, I say all of that to say, the young folks today say standing on business. Call me when y'all standing on business. Just like that day, I turned my homework in, left that class, went right march. I heard them chanting around that corner. I ran down there and went right up the stairs with them. We ain't taking no elevators. We went up the stairs. And when you come together and some unison and you put something like that together, so all y'all talking about this DEI stuff, I say, like Kia said, support these individuals directly. The reason why they're putting that stuff in Target, because they know y'all love Target. They know y'all going to be in Target. I hadn't seen a woman yet that don't like Target. This is just me personally. I'm talking about black, green, orange, purple. Every color under the sun. I remember talking to a lady. I didn't even know the lady. The lady said, you know what? Your smile made my day. She said, what are you doing today? I said, well, I'm working. She said, well, I'm going to Target. I said, I look like it. I'm over here getting my lunch. She talking about Target. And it's just, people get bent out of shape to me over the craziest things. But my thing is, do not call me boycotting, walking in thing. I'm not going with you. That ain't what I'm doing. When y'all want to sit down with let's say right now, President Trump, when y'all want to sit down and have a real conversation and stop crying on the other side and stop doing all of this, he did this, he didn't do this. Don't call me. I don't care if you don't like my opinion, but I don't want to hear it, because at the end of the day, y'all ain't standing on business.
Appreciate that, Dr. Tasha Faison. Only 4 times, though?
4 times? Wow.
Only 4. They got some good deals in there now.
And that's good. She can only count on one. Look at slides.
There we go. Hey, appreciate your support.
Hey, I appreciate that.
Now I did look up to see what the stance is, and I've come across Target's decision in January 2025. Target announced that it will end its DEI goals. The retailer also dismantled its program for shelving Black-owned and minority-owned businesses. Now that part going to be a problem for them doing that.
See,
that's what you don't do, because unless people was not buying their products and you had other people want to put theirs in, I could see that. But if it's simply say a member of the board is racist, like, man, I'm sick of all this. I don't want to come in and see all them people here buying stuff. But if the product moving, that's all that really matters. But now you saying, well, we need to switch up where you don't have a product in there. But boycott ain't the answer, because you can't boycott that thing every day. I mean, if that's the only spot in the area, people gonna shop at convenience. I mean, we all do it. If I can go to this gas station up the street and get some gas compared to, I'm gonna go way up on 8 Mile in Greenfield. That's a long drive. And you got like 2 or 3 right up the street on Finkel. Like, really, who's about to? I'm supporting. And we just had an ice storm. You going way over there to get that gas? You got one right up the street.
listen, that I think that's the issue too. You know, we want to claim, we want to, be so upset, but then we want to be convenient at the same time. Oh, what?
There you go.
Wait a minute. Wait a minute.
Oh,
I was going to boycott, but you said I gotta go another 2 miles extra. Well, that's gas. I don't think I want to do that. Oh, I'm gonna be inconvenienced because I can't buy this brand of ice cream. It's $2. It's $2 cheaper than what I would have to buy if I buy this product over there. I don't think I want to do that. Like, if it's gonna inconvenience us, then all of a sudden we not as upset anymore.
Now, my suggestion to people, if the black delegation is really upset, we don't like our stuff starting off at 25. There's some bull jive. We need to really do something. I learned this in business school, and it still pisses me off. We waste 1.3 trillion a year to this economy.
Sure
Black
do.
people.
Sure do.
Teacher had a smile on words she said. I'm like, what the fizzle? Let me look this up. I'll be damn.
Sure do.
1.3 trillion. Well, what we wasting it on?
People who don't celebrate us, things that don't celebrate us.
I'm about to be Kevin Samuels for like 2 seconds. You're buying stuff made overseas that costs $2. Them Jordans you wearing for $300, they make them the same spot Stephon Marbury get made in China for $2, $5. All this stuff cheap. Whatever you think of is made overseas for cheap, and they rack the price up when I stupid ass buy it over here. Because, man, I got Bugatti on. I got Fufu. How much you pay? I paid $500. Dumbass, it only cost like $20 made over there in Taiwan. You ain't shining. You should have bought some stock with that $500.
There we go.
That's the conversation we don't want to have in the black community. That real grown folks. You got all this stupid stuff on that costs $3,000, and you ain't even got no type of investment portfolio. And when you go overseas and see it made in some of those sweatshops, you're like, that's what my stuff made? Yeah. Even the phones.
Yep.
Now, you need a phone, but you ain't got to have the $3,000 phone. But we just think that $3,000 phone, add that to 1.3 trillion. And it's us. If we took a week and didn't buy nothing, the government had come to who the leader of the black delegation, get their ass on the phone right now. We need to talk to them. Because we see a dip in this economy. Just 7 days. Don't buy nothing. That's a lot of stuff that'll be affected that we ain't touching. We love our weed, our nicotine, our liquor, our champagne, our wine. We love our junk food. We love going out. And we ain't do none of that. Just stay at home. Cook. Then you got some power. And we realize that real power we have. That we don't talk about.
Yeah,
so
we definitely have power. We have to utilize it. Now you right in my wheelhouse and speaking my language. Being the financial coach, right? So we we have a major tool at our disposal that we forget that we have, and that tool is money, right? It doesn't make the person, however, it's a tool, and you can utilize it. We have a lot more power than we think. The thing is, when it doesn't directly affect us, then we don't want to make any sacrifice or anything when it comes to it, right?
Oh, yeah.
So we do have to realize, like you said, $1 trillion. That's a lot of dollar signs and a lot of zeros. You
They
know,
counting on it every
right?
year. That black people 1.3. Okay, G growth. The domestic product gonna be good for 25 because they're gonna give us that 1.3. Minus that from that. I'm like, shit, we coming up short, man. What we gonna do? Why black people ain't buying nothing?
Yeah.
I'm sick of this shit.
So we mobilize and realize our power and what we have in terms of our buying power, and utilize the tool that we call money effectively, then we will be able to change a whole generation. The thing is, we have a problem with uniting. We haven't done that.
There's always gonna be some Judas. Hey, look here, man. I'm gonna give you about three grand, man. Just go be a disruptor, you know. Just tell him, man, don't listen to that fool. He hating. Just be that guy. Okay.
Yeah.
There's always gonna be one. That's the sad part.
Always. The great doctor in the comments asked, what did Tabitha Brown say that everyone's in an uproar about her product and Target? And basically she was saying that if we boycotted Target as a whole, then we would impact all of the Black owners or minority owners who have products in the store, because then what will happen is they wouldn't make sales, and if they don't make sales, then the company as a whole can turn around and say, well, because you aren't making sales, we'll pull your products off the shelf, and then we'll put the products that we have back on the shelf. So
and a lot of people
we favor the most back on the shelf. So it would give them an excuse to take all of those people out of the organization.
And they felt she's playing both sides, because once she like, yeah, let's boycott, but I guess that assistant, you got stuff in there. Oh shit.
But see, I don't think those people are really followers of Tab, because she never told anybody to boycott, not one time.
Yeah, nope. She's right. Well, speaking on boycott, before you move to the next one, Jeff, I'm gonna go back before our time, before we was, able to understand any of the civil rights and things of that nature. When Dr. King, put it out there for everyone to boycott the public transportation and do everything, they said if you go and do the research, only 25% of the people participated in that, and look at the impact that it caused, because so many Blacks at that time, the Negroes as they call them, were taking public transportation, the buses, the trains, the things of that nature, that it made a powerful impact at that time. And so what I'm saying to you is, if it's a time for us to do some boycotting and things of that nature, like Kia said, number one, we'll have to unite on all fronts. And when I say on all fronts, let's make sure we're boycotting the right, entity for the right cause and the right purpose. Because at the end of the day, like you said, some of these people talking about, boycotting a gas station, and they talking about boycotting this. Boycott the gas station if someone has a wrongful death or something along those lines. Everybody's not driving around the D with no electrical vehicles right now. Let's just be real. I mean, come on now. So you're going to have to go and get your gas at whatever gas station that you feel comfortable at. And it's like, if we're going to boycott, we're going to stand for something, let's all stand for something that's really going to be a legitimate reason, and not just because you see Johnny over here talking about he going to do it, and here you come, and, we supposed to do it. And I just think that that's where the disconnect is when we have the different generations, because our generation, We don't have that leader out there that we following. And that's the reason why I said, me personally, and I know it's people out there think like me. Don't call me for no.
He said, "Don't call me."
Yeah, do not call me for no march. Now, when y'all ready to storm into a room and have a meeting with the person that's going to be there, call me for that. Don't come calling me about walking around the block 8 times. No, I'm good. I read that story in the Bible, and he ain't tell me to do that today, so I'm good.
And well, see, we got to just remember, Man in the Mirror song Michael Jackson made. It starts with you. If you see something ain't right, you can mobilize some people and take care of that situation. We don't always need no black leader or the black delegation that's going to speak for us. Because man is corruptible. Say someone's coming along right now that want to be that next King X and this person. Man, they're going to be trying to come on the low. Man, look, take this billion, be quiet, bro. We got them distracted. They ain't paying no attention. Why are you making waves? Now, if his heart ain't truly pure to what he's standing on, then they put $1 billion in my account. Let them feel for themselves. So if you see something, you come over. We got all this social media. The world is right here in our hand. The world is right in our hand. We ain't got to do all that. You got a problem in your area, you mobilize, and you put all the information out. People rock with you. And people go read. Study the laws of where you are. Know how to play chess, where you live, how you need to move. Don't play checkers all the time. Because everybody on social media be lying. So research it for your damn self. You got a brain, use it. But they said, we're going to go on the thing. We're going to just blow up all the stuff up there. Let's go. Did you hear what they just said? They're about to blow up all the stuff on Finkel. They're going to arrest your dumb ass and everybody else. Because, well, they said we're going to Finkel. And no, that ain't it. Pay attention. Now, if it's a cause like maybe meeting with the board of directors on why you don't want to put black business stuff in Target anymore, that's a good conversation. What's the issue? The money ain't coming in. You got some other people that's really probably put more money down, and that's better for your books. I mean, I get that business-wise. It might suck for that person, but you trying to make a buck. Now, if you can make a more buck, you might say, oh, I like black people in my store, but the Indian people are going to make me make more money. And it's a capitalist society, unfortunately. But if that ain't your reasoning, it ain't black and white no more. That's stupid. It's all about money. People keep prostituting that to you, make you think, well, we ain't cool because we different cultures. No, it's rich and poor. That's the hard on. Look at it now. After COVID, it reset everything. It's rich and poor. So what battles are you fighting that you doing all this for? Which is crazy. Last topic was a story here about Detroiters voicing their concerns over the increased immigration enforcement. What's your thoughts on that?
Well, we have a population that, can y'all hear me?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
We have a large population of immigrants. So I can understand why they concerned. With the climate, everything that's going on, I can understand why they concerned. I had a client that is an immigration attorney.
Okay.
And so before all of this took place with the new immigration laws and everything like that, he was having a difficult time in terms of what his clients were going through, making sure that they could get their work visas and their green cards and all of those things and become legal citizens. So he had an issue then, and this was probably, I don't know, it was well before COVID, right?
Okay.
So, and he was working diligently then. So I know now, with it being focused upon and the main target, I'm sure he's working overtime. So I could see them being a little skeptical. Now, for those who didn't see this coming and decided to stay home, you're kind of getting what was already said it was going to happen. So Were you paying attention when they said first thing that I'm gonna do when I step foot in office is I'm gonna make sure that that we deal with immigration? Were you not paying attention then? So you know, regardless of if it's happening or if it's not happening, I could see them being worried and being, you know, being on alert. But what that's another fight. Like we got so many irons in the fire right now. We don't know where. So our head is constantly on a swivel. Now we might not be immigrants, but that's the whole thing too, right? Just because it doesn't affect us doesn't mean that we shouldn't care about other human beings. And so that's where it comes into play a lot of times, because it don't affect me. It ain't in my house. It's in my neighbor's house down the street. But if it's that close, won't be too long before it affects you too. So,
and this was the mandate. I mean, if you watch both sides during the election campaign, that was one of the biggest things people were upset about the Biden-Harris administration. They allow over 19 million illegal immigrants to come over here. And people feel you want to come over here the right way. I can understand that because we can't just walk to somebody else. We got Canada right across the street. We can't just walk over there. We got to show proof who we is, why we coming over there. It might not sound like the popular opinion, but that should be the same way to come to America. We can't go nowhere on this planet and just walk to anybody's country without showing, hey, who are you, why you coming over here? It should be the same way here. Now, how you do it, that will be the question. Make sure you're being humane, respectful, not just round them up like dogs and throw them somewhere. That's not the way to do it. But he's doing what the country voted for. The ones that went out and voted, he got the
did they really know what they were voting for though? Did they really?
Yeah, because some people I've seen, they're not complaining. Like, this is what we wanted. Like, we get them out of here. Like,
but they're the main ones complaining still. Let's let that be known. So I think it's one of them things. Oh, you thought it was going to affect somebody else. Now it's just knocking at your door. Now you got an issue. But like the doctor said, we don't have all the facts, right? So even when it comes to immigration and immigration laws, we don't have all the facts. We just got what we see on plastered across our news. They coming in, they infiltrating, they trying to take all their stuff. Hide your cats, hide your dogs, right? That's what we looking at, really.
You know, you got to go past TV because they don't tell you the whole
story. Okay, that's my whole thing.
They either Democrat or Republican. They're gonna give their version of the truth.
But some things need to be nonpartisan, right? Just like you said today when you said we gonna give a moment of silence and we send our condolences to those who lost their lives. When it's something tragic, when we see different things, some things should be nonpartisan. It ain't got nothing to do if you red or blue. It got to do with the blood in your veins. You're a human being first, right? So knowing that a tragic event happened and people lost their lives, that's what you should be saying. I send my condolences because I know what it's like to lose somebody, not blame it on somebody else. I'm gonna blame it on the Democrats. I'm gonna blame it on this. I'm gonna blame it on that's how we do it. And so when we start to look at that, when it comes to immigration, be very careful of what slippery slope you're willing to let people go down because you feel like I'm protecting the freedoms and the rights of the people in the country. Jerome, I'm passing it to you. I'm all about social justice. That was my background. So.
Hey, no, hey, I'm all for these type of topics, but let's call a thing a thing. I hear a lot of people so focused on Republican, so focused on Democrat. Yep. And I tell everybody, if Republicans are so Christian, it's a certain way we're supposed to do certain things when we out here. And it's like Jeff and what Kid just said, the inhumane things. I seen a video of a SUV at the border literally plow down two men. One man had to jump out the way, the other one got hit by the vehicle. You know, that's inhumane things. Like, it's a way to keep people from coming on our side of this whole thing without doing inhumane things. When we look at that, I always tell everybody, let's keep the thing a thing. Let's focus on LAMB, the Lamb of God. Yeah. Because at the end of the day, I was looking at some people who so pro, red, so conservative that they were saying if Jesus was here today and he came over here illegally, they said, oh, he would have to show his papers. He couldn't be over here. And I was like, you worried about when they said that, I was wishing I was there, because I'm like, if you knowingly knew that would be Jesus coming here today, knowing that you had all the proof in the world, and you worried about papers and not your soul,
worried about the wrong thing.
you know what I'm saying? The Bible I read says he has the government on his shoulders. That's why you ain't gonna get me in an argument with you at work, at an amusement park, at the grocery store. I've been and walked off on you in a minute. If you talking to me about Republican, Democrat, I'm out of here, because I know the Lord I serve, and I know who holds the power, who holds the keys to hell. I don't have time to be fighting you over that stuff. So what I have to say about this, what Jeff just said, I tried to get into Canada just a few years ago.
Mm-hmm.
They told me, pull over here. I'm over there with some of my buddies. I'm looking like, man, somebody got something going on. I don't know what y'all got going on, but something is going on. Took us about 30 minutes. Old girl called him, told him what he had on his record. Having a DUI on your record going to Canada, they can refuse you to come in over there. And he wasn't even driving. That's what's crazy. And so I say all that to say, we can't go to Canada illegally. They document every single thing. And I tell everybody, right is right, wrong is wrong. If we go out here, run every single red light, and we finally get a ticket, we was in the wrong. We got the video footage. They got the cameras these days. If you know that you're here illegally, at some point along the way, you would have had to try to get these documentations the right way, because at some point, the looking over the shoulder is going to become real. If you're an escaped prisoner, the prisoner is looking over his shoulder every day, hoping he doesn't get caught to have to return back to where he's going. That's where we are right now. You've been looking over your shoulder, but along the way, somebody's got to help you get this thing and do it the right way. Because if I'm over here in Canada, knowing that I don't have a passport, knowing that I don't have the right documentation to do a dual citizenship, knowing that one day they can, escort me out of this workplace that I've been working at, break me up from my family and things like that. I'm not willing to this is me talking. I'm not willing to run that risk of losing it all based on how much money I can make over here. People lose sight of the reality that you could get caught and sent back. Because let's just be real. These individuals are coming from countries where they're getting paid $5 a day, $5 for a week compared to our money. And when you're looking at that, our minimum wage is way more than what they're getting at home. So I get the reasons why people are running for the freedom and the land of the free, the opportunity and things like that. But along the way, if you've been here 20 years, 10 years, at what point were you going to look into doing this thing the right way so you don't have to look over the shoulder? Like me, we could go right now. I can come in town, pick you and Jeff up. Hey, let's go eat at Fish Bones, this, and this. I don't have any problems because my license legit. Even though it's out of state, I'm still good. I don't have to worry about nothing. But I'll be worried if I'm riding with a suspended license, knowing that one person pulled me over. Hey, Jeff, say you was driving, man, because I'm about to go down. What you mean? Man, why you ain't tell me? I could have drove from the beginning. Why put y'all in that position when you should have known from the very beginning? And so my take on it is I have empathy for the individuals, but at the end of the day, we all knew that what's my man said? Cat Williams said the reckoning. We knew the reckoning was going to come one day where you looking over the shoulder was going to come to a reality. And now that's where we are. And that's the reality. So we just, like you said, we got to pay attention to what's going on, because I just seen where President Trump is taking away Juneteenth being a national holiday. It's going to be a lot of little things like that. But I tell everybody, I'll say on that, they gave us the shortest month out the year because of Abraham Lincoln's birthday being in the month of February. So at the end of the day, Black history, African American history is every day in your household. Don't let government tell you what month your Black history is going to be. Don't let them tell you what they're not going to teach your kids, what they're not going to teach you. You got to educate yourself. We got to get out of the excuse box and got to get out of the to-do box and do what you're supposed to do. They can take away the Juneteenth, but you know they can't take away this. They've been doing this for years. Let them take all of that stuff. Let them have all the stuff. You can still be out there barbecuing. You can still go out there and do your events downtown. Let them have all of that stuff, because we got to let these folks know none of that stuff matters, because our history is every day. You can't give me a month and tell me that's good for me. No, I'm good. I'm gonna take my 365. Just like Juneteenth come once a year, you know, and people celebrating that stuff, the people who was woke knew about it. And at the end of the day, that's why we got to read. That's why you got to self-educate. Right. You know, just because you graduated college 20 years ago, 30 years ago, pick up some books, folks. Read about the transatlantic slave trade. Read about a lot of different things, the stock market. Do things to, you know, enhance your skill set, enhance your different things. And let's just be real. The times we in right now, it might be time to start ordering books of what do we do if we was to go down because of a power grid? Would I know how to survive without power? Would I know how to survive without being able to go buy food? Would I know how to survive? So it's like, folks, we got to wake up. Y'all getting social engineered into the buffoonery. And y'all need to be focused on what's really going on.
Listen, lulled right asleep, right? Like just I've been comfortable for so long, but I want to go back to one of the things that you were saying, Jerome, about you know, coming to the country, and then at some point in time you got to figure out, well, you should have had a plan, an exit plan on what you were going to do in terms of staying here. I think that the question is, why don't people? Well, I don't think we ask the right questions. Us being here, you know, we take for granted, and so we say, okay, well, we can't get into Canada. I get that, right? Why is it that you would risk your life to come here for freedom and then get here and live here all this time and not gain your citizenship legally?
Be held accountable.
So we need to ask the right questions. What is it that stops you or hinders you from doing that? Because I can't see you fighting all your life. You came, you braved the storm, you got here. Now you stop because you're here, because some of these people are working and they're following the laws. See, we get the criminals, you got to go, right? But we're talking about those that are here, that are following laws, who have started raising families. What stopped you? I think that's the bigger question, from going ahead and making sure that you are here legally, right? And then the other thing is exactly what you're saying. Man, we got to stop being lazy. We need to be educating ourselves. Your growth, I think one of the things that we have fallen into the trickery of is, once you graduate, that your learning stops. As long as you are living and breathing, you have to continue to develop yourself and develop your mind. So what you were talking about is reading. We already know there's so many things are being wiped out. They're already banning they're banning a lot of the books. They're taking the curriculum out of the schools, right? But what happened to us educating ourselves at home? Like you were saying, I remember
library online
saying, this is who invented this and this is who invented that. We learned about our Black history at home with our families, just constantly being drilled, right? So we can know that we were more than what they were saying about us, that we knew that we were kings and queens, right? So where does the education come in our homes? Are we educating our nieces and our nephews, our children? Are we doing that? Are we educating ourselves? And the other thing, like you were saying, learning about the stock market, learning about all of these different things. The one thing that we underestimate is the power that we have. One of the things that we underestimate is the power that we have with our dollar.
True. Sad truth. Here froze for the moment.
She froze. She was touching on some heat though with that. She probably can come off and come back on.
Yeah, it's that fire one.
Mm-hmm.
It's that take your medicine and your vegetables. You don't want to hear, but it's the truth. I mean, I'm a firm believer. Don't say you're grown, you don't do your grown stuff. Quit playing.
All right, now I'm back.
Yeah, come on in.
No problem.
Everybody froze. Yep. So anyway, it's about the dollar. Make sure that we know how we spending it and what to do with it, because we do have power.
True. That's your last word, Kia?
Then she froze again.
Yeah.
Well, I guess I'll say my closing remarks when she come back. She'll be able to say hers. Like I said, man, I just think everybody out there, let's just look at what just happened with the plane situation in DC, what just happened yesterday in Philly. The month of January, I mean, it just seems like you couldn't catch a break. I mean, you look this way, it's this going on. Look that way, you got deportations. Look, like Kia said earlier, there's so much going on. You know, I'm like Jacob in the Bible. As for me and my household, you know, we serve the Lord. And so my thing is, when you know that, you know, the Lord told you what things to look out for when you start getting to the beginning of the last days. People are going to become lovers of themselves. They're going to be boastful. Kids turning against parents. And he says this is the beginning of the sorrows. You know, that's the deepest part in this thing. It's like, we just went through this, and it's the month of January. You know, I was telling my daughter earlier, I said, I'm about to put a animated meme out there with a little cartoon peeking around the corner, like February. Like, yeah, do we really want to step into February, you know? And I said that just because I wanted it to be on her level to understand it. But it was like, it's a reality. Like, do we really want to step into this month of February based off everything? It's like, sometimes in life, you may feel like you want to just take a time out. Like, hey, I want to take a time. You know, I want to take a time out. There's just so much going on. I need to take a time out. And the life we live in, you don't get to take a time out. You know, that stuff continues to keep being thrown at you. And you got to continue to put your hands up and fight the next round, and the next round. Yeah. So what I'll say is, read the book of Job. Job went through some really serious things. And when he was questioning God and he was doing all this thing, it says that he didn't even sin in the questions that he had. But he was really like, hey, man, I did this, I did that. Like, then finally God spoke back to him. I call it the God crash out moment. He hit him with the, where were you when I designed the stars and all? So, all I'm saying to y'all people, keep the thing a thing. We got to stop being swindled and hoodwinked into the small, minute things, because the bigger picture is what you're not focusing on. And we got to start focusing on the unity that Kia talked about. We got to start focusing on the education to our children out there, and educating ourselves as well. Because guess what? They can have Black History Month. They can have Juneteenth. You're not stopping me and mine and what we're going to learn. You know what I'm saying? Y'all don't get bent out of shape when they realize, hey, I can't get them with this. That's what's going to butt hurt a lot of these folks. But as soon as they see y'all get bent out of shape out of here, they ain't going to do nothing but march. Now, and then y'all can't say Rome was with you. You ain't going to find no videos of that. I can promise you that. You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to walk right past y'all. I'm going to be at that Chick-fil-A. Eat my sandwich. Here they go marching again. I done told them not to go down and do that marching. Oh man. You know, and so what I'm saying to y'all, I'm in on a high note, you know, to the brothers and sisters out there that has to be deported. It's unfortunate. It's I just hope things are done in a humane way, and our country don't do things to make it difficult for people to take their vacations, because Americans love to take their vacations. Just keep it. We ain't had no problem with you, know what I'm saying? When I come over there, I don't have no problems. I don't want no problems. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
We don't want nobody coming up missing off of somebody else's behalf, because some of these countries, they make a definitely big example out of you, and they don't do just the average stuff. They do stuff like cutting off heads and stuff. So I'm hoping
about that.
it won't go left, is what I'm saying, because it may be some places people don't want to travel in the months to come based off of what's going on. That's my take.
Kia, your final thoughts?
Listen, I'm scared to say anything. I keep everything keep buffering, and I go off. Listen, but yeah, I just said this. The one thing that they understand is, like you said, Jeff, is green. Money talks. Use your dollar wisely. Get your affairs in order.
Yeah.
Make sure that you're doing like Jerome said and taking care of your family. Stop spending frivolously. This is not the time. Make sure that it never was the time, but it definitely isn't the time now. Make sure that you are saving, that you are investing, and that you are taking care of your family and utilize your money in the way that it's intended to be used, and everything will be all right. Other than that, just know who you serve, right? Continue to serve the God. Continue to serve God. Keep your hand in his hand. And like Jerome said, we all know in terms of revelation what's going to happen. So if we already prepared, we ain't got to get prepared. So that's it. Keep loving on each other. Keep shedding light.
Great taste right there. So I may pull the belt out with the vegetables, and I'm gonna be nice.
What?
I got to balance it out now. You might see a lot of stuff that happened in January. Got you thinking the world is ending, but joy come in the morning. The sun's going to shine. Moon's going to come out. It ain't that bad. I know it sounds, well, this just happened. Yeah, the sky's falling. I get it. You might feel that way, but it ain't that bad. You're able-bodied. You're alive. You had the internet. You can learn everything you want. No man can. And some people, executive orders don't mean they take over a law. Just another little tidbit. He can do his executive orders. If it's a law, Congress signed it, President signed it, it's a law. You can go to court for that stuff. And the judge will say, nope, you can't do that one. Write another one, and we'll see if that one works. So relax. Calm down. It's going to be okay. But definitely get back to the old school. You should have survival skills. You should know how, if your power went out for the week, what would you do? Just run your own scenario. Power went out for a week. Do I got candles? Do I got a flashlight? Do I got my Second Amendment or whatever to make sure I'm good, protect my family? Do I got a generator? Do I got canned goods? Check that. And we know this is the shortest month when it comes to Black History Month. We got the internet. All libraries across the globe is on the internet. So whatever you want to know what Black people did, go look it up. Reading is fundamental. You ain't got to go to school for 8 hours and find out about what. I know we was back in the day with Bill Cosby, Michael Jordan, Ralph Sampson, a few other people. It's zillions of people that done stuff that you don't hear about. When I worked in engineering building the Wayne State Clean as custodian, they would put up stuff, and I'm like, this person made that? The gas mask? A Black woman made that. Blew my mind. I ain't never. So a lot of the stuff we have done. We might not got the patent in time, but you just start research, you will be amazed at what we have done. So you got something in you to do something great. So find that and relax. Something's going to happen in the next 10 minutes. We're on a 24-hour news cycle, and everybody going to talk about it. So, but the sun's still going to come up in the morning, and the moon going to come out at night. You're going to be all right. Make sure you and yours is good. Don't worry about everybody else's business. That's their business. If everybody want to go sell, riot, and looting, you make sure you in the house with your people, safe. Because they're going to deal with them. You don't want to be where you shouldn't be. Because you put on Facebook, hey, 10 o'clock tomorrow morning, we about to go run through all the targets. Don't be that fool. They will call the police on you. And I don't think you voted for Trump and got that hometown discount, that part they got. They don't like your ass up and put you to work for cheap. You make license plates, whatever. Everything on some things, unfortunately. But a lot of stuff is a smoke screen too. So relax. God got you. It's all right. See, I can be evil, but sometimes we need that Kevin saying, "Look, stop, get your damn man right. Go get your GED. What you doing?" Sometimes you need to hear that because we ain't got no big mamas and big papas no more, man. They gone. Or they like, man, I'm done with this generation. Y'all on your own. So we got to take it on our own, especially the ones we know. Hey, look here, cut that foolishness out. I know you, so I'm going to tell you, cut it out. Stop being stupid. Be smart. Leave them fools alone. They're like robbing people. You're going to get shot. Everybody had that in the hood coming up. And you're like, what's he talking about? Then you find out, man, they stole honey buns from the gas station. I was going to go up there with him like, see, I told you come do something for me because I just felt in my spirit and go down big old spiritual. Some said, have him cut your grass. And I'm like, man, right now, just here, I'm getting $20, bitch, cut the grass. And man, they got shot. The album got arrested. Like, but I was just about to work with them. Like, some told me to keep you away from it. So we look back on it now, like, you know, God really was telling them, he about to do something stupid. She about to do something stupid. Have him do something else. We didn't know it then, but they were always looking out because Big Mountain was praying for us. So as long as we keep praying, because prayer changes everything, it's going to balance out. So hope y'all enjoyed this amazing conversation. Share because ground flow, we ground. We're going to talk real here. Ain't gonna blow no smoke up your ass. We ain't doing all that. We're going to tell you the truth. And tell you to go read for yourself. Don't take our word for it. It's out there. Yep. She said, control you control.
Yeah.
And you're going to be all right. And if you're drinking, hanging out still, hydrate, drive safe, get someone else to drive for you, make it home. And we about to be out of here, people. So appreciate y'all, this great panel. Till next weekend for some more fun-filled stories.
Have a good night.
Good night.